Mic is on. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Gyanamurtim Dandvaititam Gagana Sadrisham Tatvama Shadi Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamatchalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tan Namami. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. We salute the leader of our souls, through whose grace our ignorance is dispelled, who is beyond good and bad, pleasure and pain, life and death, and all other pairs of opposites. We recognize that one as the only witness to the changing phenomena of the universe. May we through that grace go beyond darkness and delusion and realize the truth in this very life. Om peace, peace, peace. Om Sahana, Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karvavahai, Tejasvi Navaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May Brahman, the reality, protect us. May Brahman sustain us. May Brahman illumine our thinking process. May we not find fault with each other, with the world, or with the teachings. And may what we study be a source of inspiration to us eternally. Om peace, peace, peace. May peace be unto us, and may peace be unto all. Om Hari Om. And with this fine chant from the Sanskrit, Vedanta, Yoga, Gita, ambiance and atmosphere that it invokes here amongst us, those of you who are here in the SRV Ashram classroom today, and also those who are live streaming, we welcome you all to this second class of this particular visit, a Dharma visit, which I do 4 times a year, to San Francisco and to Oregon, and then we're broadcasting live on Sundays from Hawaii when I'm not here on the mainland. So we're trying to keep a continuous flow of Dharma teachings going to those who are interested. To those who aren't interested, we hope that eventually they will become interested if they've found religion in its present state today to be inadequate to fulfill them, or even inadequate to remove their sufferings and miseries, particularly at the mental level, because if the mental level is good, the body will be healthy. Everything begins from inside and proceeds out. Opposite of what we've been taught in science and evolution, that the source is within, the kingdoms of heaven are within, your true nature is within. Within being a designation which is not the opposite of outside necessarily, but it's a moniker to sort of establish us in an all-pervasive awareness, which we call Brahman here, and they call him Allah in the Muslims, and Almighty Father, and Yahweh, and different designations, names, appellations that they've used to point out this all-pervasive reality that the Upanishads, which we're studying today, state is as subtle as fire and wood, or oil in the sesame seed. You have to do some sort of work to bring it out from hiding. And one of the slokas in the Svetashvatara Upanishad said that yesterday, that Brahman is in hiding here. So you have to do certain exercises, certain experiments, if you will, in the West right now, who are experimenting with Vedanta and Yoga and Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism and other darshanas, basically of Indian origin. You have to do that kind of experiment to bring it out and make your life better. there's a good life, and then there's a better life, and then there's the best life, as Vivekananda used to say. We want to go from good to better to best. But he didn't say anything about going from bad to good, or from ignorance to truth. He said from lower truth to higher truth. So you have to modify your mind in a way that will allow this alchemy, or this transformation, to take place. And as that deepens in you, then if thine eye be single, you should know the truth. This chakra, this third eye chakra that Kundalini system of India talks about, will open, and you'll begin to see that Brahman everywhere. It won't be in hiding anymore. It'll be, in fact, the only thing that you see. They asked Swami Vivekananda when he came to the West, have you seen God? He said, I've seen nothing but God ever since I opened my eyes. And so have you. Or neither have you, however you put that. And in other words, you've also seen nothing but God ever since you opened your eyes. But unlike Swami Vivekananda, who opened all three of his, we've only opened two, you see. And we just chanted, may we go beyond life and death, pleasure and pain, all the pairs of opposites. Krishna advises that in the Gita to Arjuna too, so that we can live that singular life of worship, of study, of meditation, and of selfless action. Those are the four main yogas that India wants to teach us about. In other words, again, putting a sort of moniker or a designation or an assignment on some practice that people who want to be conscious and aware engage in. They don't just let it go and let the field of the mind go ripe with seed and weeds and so forth. They always discriminate and move back in and make sure they remove the clutter of the mind. Meditation every day, really best for seeing God, perceiving God within you, but a secondary aid or benefit to meditation every day is so that you can even the playing field, so that karmas don't accumulate over weeks or months and years. And that's particularly true in the family. In the monastery, that kind of thing isn't accumulating because you don't have TVs, and you don't have siblings, and you don't have children, and you don't have to worry about everyday life, which is difficult. They call it the Ashanatrayam in monastic communities. That is, people who are caught in the three bondages. Ashanatrayam means spouse, money, and family, basically. And that's a bondage to them. It's a bondage, outright bondage. But, of course, if you're a householder who has that awareness of Brahman behind everything and in everything, that is the presence of God, then you will transform life as you live it. It's like Sri Ramakrishna used to say, the expert dancer never takes a wrong step. That is, he certainly does make wrong steps, but nobody knows it because he makes it so graceful. He turns a mistake into a new creative move, you see, or something, you see. And just in the flow of the spontaneous moment, you see, kriya it's called in Sanskrit, that he can pull it off like that. And so a householder who's adept, a yogi and yogini householders, whether they have children or not, are constantly doing that moment by moment transformation that keeps them on the upper crust of Maya. They're floating on Maya. They're not down in Maya, in the ocean of Maya, drowning all the time, which you see so many people doing. So it's a great art. It's a spiritual art, and it has to be practiced. And then when it's attained, you can coast with it. The sailor puts out to the ocean, and 5 miles offshore he encounters a storm, so he has to trim the sail, he has to bail for his life. Then the storm passes, he puts the sail back up, puts some tobacco in his pipe, puts the rudder on automatic, and leans back and watches the stars while he smokes, you see. He's in bliss. So that's Sri Ramakrishna's story about how spiritual life at first is so difficult, how to learn that art and keep yourself afloat without drowning. But then once you learn the art, you live in peace And that peace, which Holy Mother, Sri Sharda Devi, said was the main thing you needed to attain, that you couldn't attain anything else without peace of mind first. People are trying to gain things with an erratic mind, and they get erratic results. Like the gunas we saw yesterday, that chart we studied, if you were here with me yesterday. Tamas and Rajas. You do actions in tamas and rajas, slothful and restlessness, then the things that come back to you will come back to you in the form of restlessness and slothfulness. It's just tit for tat. So learn to do everything in balance, and then you'll have that kind of return coming to you all the time, and you can float then on the waters of existence. And what to speak of peace? You can eventually then attain the peace that passeth all understanding. I had to practice saying that word because the word passeth, you see, it's so difficult to say, you see. So sometimes they just say passes, if that's English, but passeth, you see. Just like that, you have to practice spiritual life. So you don't sound silly in front of others or look silly in front of others. So we want to then today get started back into the same pull ourselves up to that same atmosphere that we were in yesterday and continue to take the Dharma teachings. Before I get into it, I should make the announcement that we had some technical difficulties yesterday, but you can these classes get uploaded eventually. Maybe it takes a few days, sometimes a week, and this very site you're on, you can look back on it later, and anything that was missed because of technical difficulties, you can see it, review it again, and look at it.
They're not hearing anything, seeing anything right now. It's just...
You want to start over?
Could we for them? I mean, this... Because we have got people who are trying to watch this, and it's just not happening. It was a great intro.
I can do it.